We just got back from FP and we are now 2 days later and we got the 3G in the shop. On the lift, we're about to replace the output shaft on the transmission. Now this truck, we just threw 150 overs in the truck. Unfortunately, we had a transmission failure. This trans only had a billet input shaft, billet triple disc DPC, full fire punk internals, as far as like the GPZ clutches, heavy duty clutches, billet, small parts kit, high pressure valve body. So the plan here, we don't want this truck breaking all year. So we are having a full billet trans built for this. Billet intermediate, bigger input shaft, 27 spline, the billet triple disc, another billet triple disc converter, because we're gonna keep this one as a spare. Billet fat output shaft. I don't know if we're doing a fat shaft because then we have to rebuild the transfer case. I think we're just doing a standard shaft on the output, but we're doing a billet one. And then we already did, I'll show you guys our trans cooler that we put on this truck. We were having a little bit of issues with the Mishimoto trans cooler keeping up. So we did put a derail remote mount trans cooler. We put all AN lines on this because if you guys know and have followed us in the past and seen some of our other videos, we had many transmission cooler line issues with this truck. So we went with the full send diesel kit. And nice thing is it's all AN-8 fittings, their kit is. So we just immediately integrated that into the derail kit and ran some of the Evil Energy lines off of Amazon. We've used their stuff for quite a while now. We've used it on the race truck for fuel lines and for trans cooler lines, and they have held up extremely well. Zero leaks. Our trans temps down to about 130 degrees when we let it sit in idle for, you know, a few minutes, which is plenty of time. Even when we were hot lapping it, we were averaging what, around 180, 190 beating on it. It did get up, you know, around 200, 210. But then you pull over, let it cool down for just a few minutes, and it comes right back down to a clean running operating temperature. A big reason why you want to make sure your trans temps are staying cool is you don't want to cook your clutches. You also don't want to burn up all your seals or your converter. And then also I feel when a trans is cool, it has better power transfer in the converter because the fluid is not as thin. Maybe someone might correct me on that, but we did pull the thermostat out of this. We were probably gonna leave it like that for the year while we're out beating on it, and then in the winter, we'll put a thermostat back in it. But yeah, we're just gonna rip apart the underside of the truck, gonna get the transfer case out. We just built this mount for this trans cooler. We're gonna have to pull it out because now we gotta pull the transfer case out. When we were putting it in, I told the guys, I was like, hey, let's make sure we make it so it's fully removable. And he's like, well, why do we have to make it removable, SpongeBob? And I was like, because we might have to pull the transmission out. Well, isn't it built? And I was like, well, it is, but you know, you never know, stuff happens. So look at that, 5 days later, we're pulling it out. So yeah, who'd have thunk it? We just got to pull the drive shaft. Already got the rear drive shaft out, pulling the front drive shaft right now. Gonna swing this cooler down out the way. Yeah, and then we're gonna pull the overdrive housing off and see the carnage. And we've got a local guy who's bringing us a billet output shaft tonight so that we can get this thing back on the road so Kenzie can have her daily driver back. That's just a piece of crap 5th gen over there, don't worry about that. Piece of junk truck. If anybody wants a 5th gen, make me an offer. Just kidding, I love it.
No.
I don't love it. It's such a good truck. It's not a good truck. What do you guys think of the wrap? Should we make this the big reveal? It's
on
all
the
in pieces.
GoPro?
It's all, yeah, it's all in pieces.
How does it look
Let's
on the
see how
GoPro?
it looks. Oh, it looks pretty clean.
Does it?
Looks fire. Should make a straight edit.
Yeah, GoPro edit. Ooh. Give me some rap. Give me some rap. Start rapping.
Oh, show me how to finish the bun.
Put that on SoundCloud right now.
Yeah, that's gonna drop 5-second
You just blew up. You just blew up.
Yeah, we still have some little finishing touches on the 5th gen, obviously. The bumpers are off of it. We still got to put a couple of cab lights back on. We still do need to pull the trans back out. We are going full manual valve body on this truck. So we're gonna have a little ratchet shifter right here. Clickety, clickety, clickety. We'll make a bunch of content on this once it's done. Still have suspension work. We're putting this on bags. It's not really important right now, but it looks cool. It's gonna be fast. 200 overs, compounds. It's got a fast, as always, on it. We have a lot of stuff, exciting stuff happening. I feel like we got a potential, some sort of brand deal with Fast. We talked to Jake at Fast, not with State Farm. He is going to hook us up with a Fast 540G, which you guys might not know. They make these giant pumps for people trying to make really, really big horsepower. So we were shooting for 2,000 horsepower this summer with a 6.4 Powerstroke. I feel like we're revealing too much all in the same video.
I think you are. Maybe
But
a little bit, but
maybe
hey.
this would... We're getting so distracted from this, but we got time. Just show you guys a little sneak peek. Shabam! Compounds. I did not put these compounds on, I bought it like that. I'm gonna be honest, I already bought it with the compounds. So I did not fully build this truck, but we are going to blow it up and then we're gonna fully build it. This year, I'm going to baby this thing because it has been down pretty much since the day I bought it a year ago. So this was not really a priority for me at the time. I started building the 3G and that was more of a priority than this truck, which it still is. And that's why we're fixing it a couple days after it broke, just so that we can get it going, because that has a lot of events that it has to go to this year. And this is going to be the backup truck, which people might be like, that's such a cool truck. Why make it the backup truck? Because it's kind of an all-around truck. We could take this to ODSS and run 770. We could take this to a Shine and probably place top 10. I'm shooting for 1,200 horsepower on this truck. I think it's very doable. 200 overs, 14 mil pump, and compounds. We will make a whole video about this truck and everything that we're doing. Hey, if anybody sees this and has a bag kit for a 5th gen 2021, I want to put this thing on bags. If you know what to do or how to make a bag kit for this thing, that'd be greatly appreciated. I know Blake made one for his 5th gen, so maybe I'll just give him a call and see if he's got any opinions on. Yeah, I'll just give him a call real quick.
Yep, best buds.
Yeah, BFF. We're not best friends. He doesn't even know my name.
He just knows he's a 6'4" guy.
Yeah, he just knows me as the Blue 6'4" guy. So, hey, Blue 6'4" guy needs to talk to Blake about a bag kit for this really cool 5th gen. I mean, I'm not looking for helper bags, like you put a helper bag kit on the back of your truck because you're towing too heavy with the 2500. I'm looking for a full bag kit so that this right here touches this right here when I flip a switch. But back to what we're actually here for. Let's continue on the 3G. So we're gonna get this pulled apart and we will update you guys momentarily when we find some broken parts. Well, we were dead on the money with a snapped output shaft. You get to see Mackenzie's handiwork. There's half of it there, and there's half of it inside the transfer case.
Oh, is that supposed to be one piece?
Yeah, this is supposed to come out. So,
Oops.
yeah, that's why you put billet output shafts and things, I guess, folks. Then we got to pull the output shaft housing off.
At least it was a pretty clean snap.
Yeah, definitely didn't break anything else.
Yeah.
The hard part is just getting it out of this.
Yeah.
Getting it out of the transfer case. All right, little update on progress. We have the other half of the input shaft out, or the output shaft out. And there she is. It was snapped off in the transfer case. I just punched a hole in it and drilled a 21/64 hole in it, and then threaded a M10 bolt into it, and it slid right out. I just couldn't get it to move without having something to grab onto. With the trusty assistant over here, we got the transfer case in there. Nobody lost a finger, but there might have been a little pinch or two on a finger, so I apologize.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
This one's.
You flipping me off or something?
No, it's this one.
It's
I
that one?
promise.
Yeah.
I promise.
It really wasn't too bad. We had some expert help to have us swap out that transmission output shaft. Probably could not have done it by myself. I am not a transmission guy, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I have rebuilt many engines and have had great success in doing so, but I have not dug into transmissions all that much, especially not Dodge transmissions. We've done a ton of valve bodies on Ford transmissions, 6R140s, the 10R140s, even the Duramax transmissions, the 10L1000, the newer 10 speeds. Well, I've done a ton of 68 valve bodies. Those are super common to have go bad, but 48, done a minor work on 48 REs, but yeah, redid we swapped the output shaft out, and just kind of learning how to put all the clutches and stuff back in where they belong. So one step closer to being able to build transmissions. But yeah, now we're just going back together. Gonna get the cooler mounted back underneath the truck, top it off with fluid, and then go take it for a quick rip. All right, wrapping up the 3G. We are day 2 on this project here, and everything is back together. As I was putting the transfer case back in and the drive shafts back on, I noticed that we had a little fluid dripping from the back of the transfer case, and I thought it was just all the residual from the output shaft housing, or the overdrive housing. Turns out, when I was hitting the front drive shaft to get it off of the transfer case, I accidentally hit the little spring detent plug here. That is what goes through the case and then attaches to this arm, so that when you pull it into 4-wheel or 2-wheel, it kind of pops into 2-wheel or 4-wheel. and I accidentally cracked the back of the transmission or the transfer case housing. So nothing some high heat JB Weld can't fix. And now disclaimer, I would not do that to a customer's truck, but this is the old budget 3G we got here. So yeah, it got some JB Weld. It's perfectly fine. It'll hold. If not, we will find another transfer case to swap. Actually, my original, if I had seen that when I took it out, I would have just taken it to the other shop and TIG welded it back together, because then it would be like brand new. We got the old shaft out and swapped out. Yeah, so 3G is ready to roll. Start hitting some more dirt drags. We don't have any events for about another month and a half, but that'll at least give us time to put some more miles on this setup. If the turbo starts to give us some trouble, we will go ahead and swap that out for the 472 Charger, but really at this time, I don't see any reason for us to swap out the Charger. It runs well. I mean, it's not the fastest thing. In the KOI dirt drags, the fastest we had it run was a 409, which is not super crazy impressive. Hot street breakout is 380, and then work stock is 420. So it's a great work stock truck. And we're probably gonna try and find a KOI dirt drag so Kenzie can get her first win with the 3G. Yeah, so that's the plan. It's a work in progress. It's come a long way. The goal is to be able to run this in all the classes pretty much, but at least to be able to run a 3.8 in the KOI drags, because we want this to be the work stock, hot street killer, and then race truck is gonna take the mod diesel and open class home. So, but still, even this truck could run mod and knock some people out, because there were some people running super slow in hot street, like running hot street, think you're gonna run in the 4s, and they're running like a 4.6 and a 4.7. I mean, that's not even fast enough for work stock. So, I mean, but we just wanna get it dialed in, reliable. So yeah, let's top off this transfer case, and then let's back her out the shop and take her for a quick spin. See if we can break another output shaft.
Okay.
Watch it get death wobble back. How
Oh
funny would that be? Because last time we did some services on it, we got the death wobble back. I just hit that bump and I'm like, if this thing death wobbles, I am going to run it into the river. Yeah, I think old 3G is good to go. At least it was a clean break. At least he didn't like roast some clutches out of it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, a hard part failure is kind of better. Like same thing with the burnout truck when we broke the gear for the low reverse gear.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's a bad failure because it's literally the furthest part in the transmission just about. But the nice thing is, you know, none of the clutches were hurt. I mean, we had a full clutch kit and we replaced them all when we did the trans gear, but the guy that built the trans was like, yeah, there's nothing even hurt in this trans. All the clutches are good. He's like, you just blew apart your planetary and your low reverse gear. Happy to have your 3G back.
Very happy.
I think that was the least amount of downtime we've ever had on this truck.
Yeah.
Right? Usually it's like
actually,
at least a week or two.
Yeah.
This is just preparation for when we're like peak season. Like we got an event every week. We got break it, fix it, break it, fix it.
Yep.
If only we could fix the burnout truck that fast. That pretty much wraps up this video on getting the old 3G back and rolling. We do still have to fix the ABS light again because we put all new ABS sensors, wheel hubs, ball joints, tie rods, gearbox, track bar, everything. You name it, it was replaced. But we put new heat dust shields on the front hubs too because the old ones were completely rusted off. But for some reason the right side, it like got caught up in the rotor or wheel and it ripped the sensor off. So that's why the light's back on. Not a big deal. We'll just either warranty it out or buy another sensor. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us in the shop and watching us fix up the 3G. We'll probably see you at some events this season. Check out our Instagram, Facebook for our events list where we'll be. And that's probably only the big ones. We also have some local, smaller events. So if you're local to us here in South Lebanon, Ohio area, we'll be at a lot of the KOI dirt drags. And that we're just gonna put up like 2 or 3 days before the event. We'll just throw it on our Facebook page that, hey, we'll be at the KOI at, you know, this Nelson County Fairgrounds, wherever, you know, local Hamilton, Fairfield, you know, there's a bunch of local ones. We're we're also going to go to Kentucky, Indiana, Osgood. We'll be at Osgood for the dirt drags out there. We'll be at a couple local, just like drive-in car meets. We're going to take the 5th gen out this year to some local little car meets, so you can come say what's up and check out the trucks. But yeah, just stay posted, stay tuned. We got some cool stuff going on this year. So again, thanks for watching. If you like our content, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.